Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Rich here, another fast and fun video, and today is the day that I finally, after about 3 months, pick up my repaired Renault Megane RS250. Good news, it's back from the brink of death, and it was literally a wafer thin mint away from being a write-off, and I'll talk about that once I'm in the Megane on the way back from the garage. But it was very, very close, and I'll tell you what thing actually saved the car. So it's been a long and actually a troubled period. It was the perfect storm about 2 weeks ago. I got the call from the garage, we can eventually get you in, and went to look at the car, and it had a flat tyre. A flat front tyre, checked it through, checked the tyre and saw a nail, or screw it was actually, in the tyre. So I thought, well, it's not within the inch of the edge, because it's quite central. So I took it down to a local tyre dealers to get, hopefully, repaired. And then the news from then was, yeah, we can repair it, apart from we're not willing to because the tyre's so worn, it's actually beyond legal limits. Therefore, you need 2 new tyres, because obviously you only change them in pairs. And these are the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on the 19s, so you're looking about £170-ish for each front tyre. So it was £240 at a time when I didn't even know if the car was going to be a write-off or not. And so I said to the guy in the garage, look mate, I said, I can't flip it, I'm not willing to spend £340 on 2 new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, then to find out I take it to 2 days time to the garage and they'll look at it, strip it and go, oh, this is damaged and it's going to be an insurance write-off. I've just spent £340 on the tyres. I said, so we ended up putting, so it was a slow leak, fortunately. We pumped the tyres up and that was all good and well. And then I took it home the day I took it into the garage, and then pumped the tyres back up because it was slowly losing the tyre pressure. And then I took it into the garage, and lo and behold, following day they said the tyre's flat. And I said, yeah, there's a screw in it, but if you pump some air in it, it'll pump it back up and I'll change it once I know it's going to be repaired. They went, we can't, because we can't move it now because they went to put it on the ramp and the screw has been ripped out when it went onto the ramp and it's completely flat. So it was like, oh, so then I've had to stump up. Well, I did speak to the garage, said, look, take off what you can. Is this going to be repaired or not? They gave me the nod. I think, yes, it will. So I ended up then going down back to the garage. They gave me the 2 front tyres, or wheels, and I took it up and got 2 new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's fitted. Of which, just on that, Michelin are online are doing a discount if you buy 2 at the moment on the 19s. Well, across all the range, but on the 19s, if you buy 2, you get £40 off. If you buy 4, you're getting £100 off. So Michelin, and that's on till the end of May. That's a little tip. So that was it. So it's got 2 new Michelin Pilot 4S's now on. The car has been repaired. I'm now in the courtesy car driving down to pick up the car. It's been so long really now, and I'm just so looking forward to not seeing the Megane with a big bloody dent in the back. So we'll go and have a look today and see what it's like. It's been an expensive month actually in the garage, because not only did I buy the 2 fronts for the Megane, but I also bought 2 rears which I've actually put on the front for the Clear 182 as well, the Michelin Pilot Sport 3s. And about a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, I fitted 4 gripper all-terrain 3s from a Shogun Sport. So I've probably spent £1,000, well I have spent £1,000 on 4 8 tyres within the last month. So it's been an expensive time on tyres. I don't drive modern cars that often anymore, but this is a brand new Volkswagen Polo, and it is one of the most annoying cars ever, because it seems to constantly come up with warnings telling me what gear I should be in, even though this is I think it's a 1 litre actually, and you're going up hills and you're having to drop down to keep the revs up to keep any sort of momentum, and it's telling me to change up, and changing up all the time. So your revs are at sort of 1500. It never wants you to be more than sort of 2,500, 3,000. It's almost patronising the way it's constantly chirping at you. Do this, do that. It's got the flipping... Look, it's telling me now I'm going at 30 miles an hour in 4th gear, and it's telling me to go into 5th gear. I mean, that cannot be right. Everything against although many years ago, when you do your driving test, we use your gears to help slow and maintain your speed in downhill and in 30s and 40 mile an hour zones. It's a really, really patronising type of car, and I've looked on the menus and it don't seem to be able to disable it, but I tell you something, it would absolutely do my head in if I had this car as an everyday. Look, it's saying now, only disengage clutch below 1300 RPM. What? He's actually trying to tell me how to fucking drive. Honestly, this car is doing my flipping head in. This is why I just don't get new cars. They depreciate hugely, and you get this flipping technology telling you how to drive. Criticism? I can criticise myself, but I'm not having and other people can criticise me, and I'm happy with that, but I'm not having a computer and a car telling me how to drive. The Meg is back. Great to be again back behind the wheel. The Meg's back on the road, fully repaired. Tim, who runs the garage there, does a really good job. He's done a great job on the Megane. He's the same person that I used about 4 or 5 years ago on the SL500, which does use a couple of my early videos was on that. So yeah, it's back at last. It's only just survived being written off, and by a wafer thin mint, and that wafer thin mint was about £100. That's all it was from being a write-off. The one thing that saved the car was once you take the bumper off, the rear bumper crash bar that goes across the back of the car has took the impact. I'll put a couple of photos up so you can see. That has saved the Meg. That bar, it's done its job. It's checked all around where it gets bolted to the chassis, etc. There's no fractures, there's no cracking or anything like that. It's done its job. It's bent, it's cracked on the inside, but it's not, and it's protected the main structure of the car. So that's absolutely great news, and I'm absolutely delighted by that. It's just a pleasure to be back into the Megane. It's just, having been driving the Fabia VRS a lot over the last 2 months, when you get back into this is a level above something like the Fabia VRS. I mean, they don't really compete. This is proper hardcore hot hatch, and it really is. It's a delight. The yellow dot Recaros, I'm sitting low. It's just so direct. It's so keen to turn in. There's so much feel. It's just, everything about it is sort of pleasurable. But I've got a few jobs to do on the Megane now over the next month or so. It needs pads and discs. There's a slight knocking. I think it's the gearbox mount as well. So I've got to get that looked at. Probably gearbox mount, maybe engine mounts. It's just the gearbox is just getting a little bit difficult to shift in certain gears, especially reverse. So it needs service. So there's quite a bit of money that I need to spend on it to get it into how I want it. And then I suppose my thoughts then is, what purpose is the Megane going to serve? So, and the dilemma I've got is that it was originally my daily driver. It's got 141,000 miles on the clock. The Fabia VRS now, I've bought that to be more economical daily driver because it does over 50 to the gallon, rather than this at best 31, 32. So it's 50% more economical, the Fabia. So what role is the Megane going to play? So I could make it a pure track car, but for the price, it might be more prudent to buy a sort of a kit car, something like a Westfield or a Caterham or something, and go proper lightweight, make track days much cheaper, because having something purpose built like a kit car rather than a Megane that's just going to be more expensive on track. But then if you buy a kit car, you probably need a trailer, and then so you've got that to balance up. But I am a keen advocate that each of my cars in the garage needs to form a purpose, and at the moment I'm just not sure where the Megane is. But to sell it, well, what's a 141,000 mile Megane worth with probably not as much as I think it's worth, because of the service history, because I know everything that it's needed it's had. So that's another dilemma. If I sell it, and especially time I've serviced it, pads and discs, gearbox mounts, I've just put 2 new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on, so there's that dilemma as well. So I'm still not sure yet what I'm going to do with the Megane. Do I keep it? Do I track it? Do I sell it? Comments, thoughts, please drop them below. Always interested to what people have got to think and say, and views on this very subject. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, please thumbs up if you liked it, comment below, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll speak to you very soon. Another video next week. Thanks for watching, guys.